We're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is a place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Okay, how are you doing, everybody?
Fancy.
You fancy, isn't it? It's nice.
I know. That nice camera going back and forth, that wasn't here last time.
No, it wasn't. That's one of Taylor's new toys.
We like new toys.
Yes, he does. He's a techno enthusiast. You know, he's
one of the better names you've called me.
Yes, I was thinking of something else, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Okay, now.
Now, if I sound a little rough, it's because it's hay fever season, and I normally don't get hay fever, but this year's been rough. You know, so I got the nice deep voice. Anyway, I have Lisa Boltinghouse here for the Center for ASD, and they got a big event coming up. We're going to talk all about that. It's this Saturday, is it not?
It is the Saturday, April 2nd at the Burleson Recreation Center.
Okay, so we're going to talk all about that because is this your biggest one of the year?
Actually, April is a big month for us, and
month.
I'm not sure what happened, why people didn't stop me from thinking, but April's going to be really huge and exhausting, and I'm already trying to take May 1st and 2nd off.
Okay.
If that's a Monday and Tuesday.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember what day is what. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but April's a big month, and spring is too, for that matter, for all these groups. And I got a couple more coming in the next couple of weeks as well, because, you know, it's like spring and then the fall, particularly around Thanksgiving and Christmas. And a lot of these people like to put their fundraisers because people, I think, are in the mood for it. They've kind of come to expect it, and it just it's just easier.
Well, and we thought we were smart moving. So April 29th is our gala, and we thought we were smart moving it from the fall to the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody else had the same idea because there's several galas happening in April.
Yeah. Taylor, I don't see the hookup yet. Is
It
it?
says we're live. Let me check.
All right, but I'll check again, I suppose. Anyway, before we get into all that, we should talk about the sponsors, though, of course.
Yes.
Make all this possible. Good friends of the community. Thank you, Daniel, across at Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. Check out the webpage on crossfitburleson.com. You can find out the training programs, the membership plans, the hours, the protocols, et cetera, et cetera. CrossFit Burleson, it's a pretty good workout, so go there and get fit. Don't throw a fit.
Have you ever done CrossFit?
Not under his type of program, no.
Why are you laughing?
We're live.
Oh, yes. No.
Refresh your page.
I refreshed my page. Okay, I'm going to do this
I got
again. I didn't get it. I haven't gotten it on mine, but that's okay. It'll figure it out. Anyway, also, thank you to Shandy at the Stockstill Group at Shandy Stockstill Realty. We'll help you find a house. You were talking about before the show about rising costs. Certainly, home prices are rising. And, there it is. And the home prices, you know, they're really, come on, sound.
Your audio's on.
Yes, I know. Anyway, I was just talking to Shandy, texting with her, I guess is a better way to put it. That's old folks still call it, you know, talking when really texting. And she has a couple homes for viewing, but, you know, just the cost of homes in the Burleson area just rising.
I really want to talk. So that's a concern of mine as a parent of a child with special needs, and we can talk about that in a little bit.
About housing situations? Okay, well, Shandy's really good about that because she has a heart for that. She's involved in not quite so much a program that deals with autism, but deals with foster children and helping them as they adjust into adulthood, you know,
Right.
after they've aged out of the system.
Oh.
And they're going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. We're just trying to nail down a date. It's called Re-Inspired, and it's a really nice program.
I've heard of
You've
them.
heard of yeah, and so she has a real heart for this kind of stuff. So if you ever want to just get a hold of her and talk to her about housing for children or adults with special needs, she's really the person to talk to because she knows what she's talking about. So thank you, Shandy, for your help in all this. Thank you to Rex with the Rex Russell Wealth Group. Hit myfinancialbox.com, hit the link, get to know him, help you for your 401ks, retirement plans, et cetera, et cetera. You know, he's the mayor of Eagan. I like to talk about that. The police state of Eagan. You know where Eagan is, right?
I do.
Okay, see,
I do.
I bring that up every time. A lot of people go, no, you know, I lived here all my life. And no, there's Eagan. And therefore, thank you, Rex, for your sponsorship. Thank you to Kimmy over at Optavia. Weight loss, weight maintenance, lifestyle plans, the whole thing, 789-1622. I know several people that are on the maintenance plan or on the diet part of the plan, and it works for them.
I've heard very good things about it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
But it really does work. My brother-in-law does it, and I didn't really think he was that overweight, but he lost 25 pounds, and it wasn't like one of these grueling diets that just make you want to die. So it's 817-789-1622 if you're interested in that, and she'll call you and talk to you, and y'all can set up an appointment. Also, Southern Gems, Gail Moore's over at the top floor of the Windmiller Building. It's Mother's Day coming up pretty soon, and every mother likes jewelry. You like jewelry?
I love jewelry, and her place of business is amazing.
So you've been there, okay?
I've
good.
been there.
I
Yeah.
thought you might. A lot of people I talk to about it now. So, well, yeah, they've been there more than once. It's become known.
Yeah.
As she's opened it up, and she's looking to expand and on that top floor in a couple of months, so it'll be even bigger probably by summertime.
It's beautiful. So if you love shiny things, that's the place to go.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I see you tomorrow in a networking group. She and Kimmy, and then sponsor after this one, we're all three of us are in, four of us are in a group, and I'll tell you said so, but she could help you with repairs, cleaning, inventory, the whole 9 yards. And also Hot Works with Michelle Umphrey.
Mm-hmm.
You know this one too, huh?
I do.
Yeah, see, you're just really in tune with what's going on.
I do, and I've been to Hot Works.
What'd you think of it?
I really like it.
Mhm.
It's just I went there for several months, and I had to stop because of my anxiety and my wearing my heart monitor all the time,
Okay.
so my heart rate would never go down.
Oh, okay.
But I will definitely go back. I really loved it. I love they call it the afterburn.
Right.
It's amazing.
Well, I went over there last week to do a little sponsor care, if you want to call it that, and it's a nice facility, and it's a secure facility because you have to have a code to get in, or
Yep.
have to let you in, so you won't have some just random stranger wander in.
And it's super clean.
Yes.
It's a super clean facility.
Well, I know who does their clean for them. He's also in that networking
That would
group.
be BioPure.
BioPure. you know Kyle Sherman?
I do. I do. Him and his son are going to come volunteer at the center.
She knows every single one of your sponsors.
No kidding. When I put this on
We
YouTube.
have wonderful people in the community.
Yeah. Well, I know Kyle too. He's been on the show, and Michelle's been on a couple of times, and Kimmy's been on a couple of times with Octavia, trying to get Gayla on, but she's really busy.
She's busy.
Yeah, this time of day doesn't work for her as well as others. So, but anyway, let's talk about you for a while and ASD.
We don't want to keep going through sponsors.
Well,
I can tell you how great everybody is.
Yes, you can. And I got about four on the other side of this part of the conversation. You probably know them, or you certainly. I'm sure you'll know one of them because everybody knows this one. But I'll save that for later.
Otto.
Yes, that's the one.
She even knows the order of your
Yes,
sponsors, Brad.
That's what I'd like is a listener that knows you.
Why doesn't she do the next round of ad reads?
There you go. That's what we're talking about. We need we need the ratings. But anyway, so at the Center for ASD, it's over Crestmont, right?
Yes.
Is that going to be your location for the foreseeable future, or are you looking to expand somewhere else?
That's going to be our location for the foreseeable future. We are now, they are relinquishing part of the bigger building that we're in. So we're about to get some offices on April 11th.
Okay, that helps.
It'll be amazing because we get to move from the space that we're in into the offices. And so the space that we're currently in can turn to class space or teaching space, social skill space, things like that.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
Well, so how many square foot is this? Is the facility used right now?
Right now, 14,000 square feet. That does include the gym. So whatever the gym is minus.
So you're able to use the gym. It's the church's gym, though,
Yes.
right? And so they share it with you. They allow you to use it.
We're able to use the gym and the kitchen, which is amazing because we can teach major life and learning skills.
But this isn't a Crestmont ministry. It's a separate entity entirely from Crestmont Baptist. Is it
Correct.
not? They're just being very generous.
Yes.
That's what they should be. It's good for them to be that way. So because they provide this for the community, and it's not like there's any entanglements with the church at all. I mean, okay, because a lot of people think it's a church related thing, and and I'm sure Christian people work there and Christian people use it, but it's not a Christian ministry as such.
Right. And that was a very deliberate decision that we made a very long time ago, because we don't ever want people to be.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to be able to come, and I am Christian, and I do have my faith,
Of
and
course.
but I feel like we can be His hands and feet without,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Well, that's probably the best type of witness. To tell you the truth, is talk is cheap. As the Lord Himself said, it's that when they see people in action, they may want to know more.
Yeah.
And so that's the important thing. Now, when you're talking about the Center for Autism Spectrum Disorder, I'm going to get it straight. What kind of programs are you offering? And then the second question I'm going to ask you is, what age groups do you serve?
Okay, so we offer a wide variety of programs because the need is huge. So
Yeah, absolutely.
they are diagnosing kids as young as 2 years old now.
Do you do diagnosis at your center, or do you have like a professional diagnostic type approach? Or
We do have an individual who can come in and diagnose
okay,
individuals, your loved ones. She can come in twice a month and do that process for us.
well, I'm not really up to speed on a lot of the diagnoses of autism. You said up as young as 2 years old.
Yes.
How can you tell if a 2 or 3 year old has autism? What signs would they be exhibiting at age 2 or 3?
There are definitely some characteristics. So, for instance, my son started regressing. So he was talking, he was playing in your typical fashion, and then he started regressing. So he stopped talking, he stopped playing. I actually thought he was losing his hearing. I thought he was going deaf. Some kids like to line things up. They like things in order, so they like to line up toys, maybe by color. They're very particular about how things are. They may not make eye contact with you. They may not respond to their name being called. They may tantrum. They may melt down more often than what you see a typical toddler meltdown. And really, I mean, all meltdowns it's a lot of frustration. Imagine if you can't express how you feel and what you're trying to communicate to somebody, you're gonna have a fit. So those are kind of some of the typical signs that people watch for. They like to say, or they don't like to say, but it used to be not unusual to say that the child is not affectionate. The child does not want to be hugged or touched. And that is the case in some, and it's everything that used to be typical characteristics of a child is autism. They're no longer typical. It's just advanced that much. The spectrum has just grown that wide.
Well, our friend Andrew Nolan is watching, and he's running for. I'll just throw this out there. He's also running for Justice of the Peace, and
yeah, he actually came to our chamber event a couple weeks ago.
I think he mentioned that when he was on the show that he was.
Is there anybody you don't know?
I mean,
But how you doing? I hope you're doing well, Andrew. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. So when you're talking about diagnoses, and then so they're diagnosed as somewhere along the spectrum.
Yes.
I guess there's some sort of grade or
levels.
Levels. Okay, that's maybe a better word. So they're put on a certain level. Do you have programs that fit the levels, or is it pretty much, you don't have the manpower to do that kind of individualized attention?
There are some things that we can't do. So right now we are not capable of doing a full-time littles program. So a full-time 2, 3, 4, and 5-year-old, because we don't have the staffing for that, because those littles, they really deserve to be served better than what our budget can allow.
Right.
If someone has severe behavioral issues, or if they potentially run, if they elope, if they're a runner, they deserve a one-on-one, and we can't provide that for them. It's just, we would like to eventually, because it's definitely, the services are definitely needed. If anything, we do provide one group called First Steps on Monday nights. It's from ages 2 to 6, and it's where parents can drop their loved ones off for 2 hours, and we provide a parent support group one time. Like, we rotate every 3 weeks, so it may be parent support group, and then the next 3 weeks it is a drop your kid off and go to dinner, go on a date with your spouse, sit in your car and take a nap, watch a movie on Netflix, just to get respite.
Well, okay, so you mentioned that you don't have the staff for the very young. So what is the minimum age for somebody to use your services?
So we do provide the program for kids as young as 2, but it's just every so often on Mondays, every 3 weeks, I believe. And then our oldest is 62.
62?
Yes.
You have a lot of people that are say adults or in that age? I mean, 62 is probably your oldest, like you said, but do you have other adults in the
Our
program?
oldest adult before him is 34, and but we're just growing. Like we saw, especially since pandemic happened,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the adult programs or the government supported programs, they had to shut down. They were mandated to shut down because we're not government funded. We did not have to shut down. So a lot of these individuals have been home with no place to go because
Right.
their adult day hubs didn't reopen. So we're seeing more and more of them. We're hearing from more and more of them. We're going to start a senior night, a senior movie night, where we can just start growing those. We just kind of grow as we see the need, and this is a need. Now these adults need to get out and start socializing again.
Well, how many adults do you have, you with GS?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. That's one stat that I don't have.
Well,
I know that
roughly
we serve
speaking.
adults that we probably serve about 40 to 50 a month.
Really?
Yes.
See, I was under the impression that this was mostly for teenagers and young adults, maybe up until 23 or something like that.
Right.
Because I know in the public school system,
They graduate out at 21.
at 21 now. Okay. I did that change or was I just mistaken? I thought it was 22.
It used to be 22, but now I believe most everybody that I know that graduates out at 21.
Okay. All right.
And that is hard to keep your child in. Like they're really encouraging people to graduate at 18. And you're only staying in if you need more skills. So kind of like you're a teacher, you've taught. So, the extended learning through the summer program, my son never was accepted into that program because there was no real regression that was seen over the summer for him. So it's kind of determines where the person is and if they determine if the individual needs it or not.
I'm trained, all teachers are trained for special ed accommodations, but we're not special ed teachers.
Right.
I just always wondered, how can you tell progress in students like your son? I mean, because for me, it's a pretty obvious how you tell progress, the grades and the quality of work, et cetera, et cetera. How do you determine progress in your center or with your son in school? I mean, what are the benchmarks of progress?
It varies. There's not any, so I have to tell people, like with me and my son, there had to come a day where I had to decide that traditional school was not what he needed to be successful in life. So I had to make the determination, does it matter to me if he's taking English 1 as a freshman or does it matter to me that he knows how to heat up his own lunch? So determining progress in one of our individuals kind of comes down to what your goals are.
Right.
So my goals are for my son to be able to cook his own lunch, and he eats pizza for lunch. So he's able to put it in the oven, start it. He's even able to take it out. He cannot cut the pizza because it's difficult. He doesn't have a lot of strength in his hand. But there are other goals that we have for our kids. Can they wash clothes? Can they, do a load of laundry? Can they, again, cook their own meals? Can they manage to cross a street by paying attention to the street signs? I mean, those are things that matter to us as parents. And once they start meeting those goals, our director said, if my son can do algebra, but he can't make himself a sandwich, then I can't die. So those are it comes down
Good
to,
heavens.
yeah.
That's a sobering thought. In your son's case, does he stay by himself sometimes? Can you leave the house, or
He can stay by himself sometimes. So my son his brother plays baseball 2 minutes away from my house. We have an alarm system on that has cameras and everything, and Gabe will not open the door. He will not. He knows, like, you don't even let the cat in if the cat wants to come in. But it's very small increments. There are others that cannot stay by themselves. There are people who would judge me for allowing my child who's 15 to stay by himself for a minute.
Oh, I wouldn't. I know somebody that maybe uses your service. They have a 30-year-old who's autistic, and he could stay by himself, but they don't leave him long term either.
Right.
And we're not talking about like you're going to go on vacation.
Right,
I mean, you're just
right.
going to be gone an hour or so.
Yeah. But there are some parents that are just now starting to leave their son, their child by themselves, and their child's 18, 19 years old. And also leaving your child by themselves that's not doable for everybody.
I want to take just a break. We're having some technical issues. At least I am. Taylor, are we still doing okay on the podcast?
Yes, we're live.
Okay, if you have any questions or whatnot, you're just going to have to jump in and tell me, because I'm not getting any. My phone isn't working or whatever you want to say, but I'm not doing very well on my end. But your end is fine.
Yes.
Okay, if you get some questions or comments, just interject them if you would, please.
Will do.
All right. Anyway, back to the important stuff now. As far as educational programs and the people that provide them, these aren't volunteers, are they? I mean, they may not get paid a lot. I mean, get paid like volunteers.
They get paid with purpose.
Yeah, paid with purpose. That's what it. Yeah, I get you. I mean, as a public school teacher, I got that. Well, think of the joy you're bringing.
Yeah, we do have staff.
Yeah, and they're trained staff.
Yes, they've all either have a child with special needs or they've worked with kids with special needs.
Okay, so they got certifications or they can obtain them and things of that nature. So we're not talking daycare. We're not talking babysitting. We're talking about real therapy here.
Yes.
And have the needs grown as the community's grown?
Yes, definitely. The needs have grown just since, like I said, since shutdown. I think actually we did statistics, and our 3 largest programs grew an average of 20% since August, which that's pretty huge for us. That's, I don't know, it's we're kind of in awe of it, because we're meeting 4 to 5 new families a week. We're fielding, phone calls every day from families that need help. And, we're just trying to do the best that we can with what we have right now.
Well, so what do you need more of? Let me put it that way. It's a better question. What do you need more of?
We need staff, but we are very picky about our staff.
I bet. How does one become part of your staff?
They have to go through me.
Well, that right there is a very intimidating thought. I mean, I just get this impression like you mean business when you walk in an interview. You better be prepared.
Well, not only that, but I mean, it takes a special person to be able to work with kids with special needs.
I couldn't do it. I can tell you that right now, because the patience level, and also, do you or your staff have trouble not bringing the emotions home? Because it is hard, and it is sometimes. You think you're making a little progress, and then there's a step back, and it's heartbreaking.
Well, a lot of the individuals that work for us, I want to say probably a majority of everybody takes it home. And it's not because, I hope it's not because we work them to do that, because I really encourage everybody to take their time off. But it's hard whenever a parent messages a staff member, at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, just to say, hey, my child isn't feeling well. Did something happen today? And you immediately want to respond. It's not like a regular job that you can just turn off and go home. Like, these are real lives that we are working for that still happen after they go home. And do I turn it off? No, my life is my work and my work is my life. The center has to succeed because I have a child who needs to benefit from it.
Well, when I was younger in my career, I took it home emotionally. As I got older, more experienced, maybe more calloused, I don't know what some might say, I was able to make that divide, but there were days. And my wife works in the school system, and there are days. But for you, it really is every day.
Yeah. And then I was telling a group last week, 85% of individuals with special needs are abused in some way, shape, or form during the course of their life. 85%. That means my child. That's how big that number is. That means my child at one point in his life. I'm like, no, thank you. So what do they say? If whatever you need doesn't exist, you build it. That's what we're doing. And that's why it's so important to us that we get the right people to come in, because this is, like I said, this is our life. It's our kids.
Well, how long has this center been around?
Since 2009.
2009. Okay. Yeah, I thought it, from our last conversation, I vaguely remember it was like 10 or 11 years old, but 2009. But it didn't start at Crestmont, did it?
No, it started in my house.
In your house?
It did. We had our very first support group in my house, in my living room. And then from there, we went to the Methodist Church in Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we went to the Baptist Church in Crowley. And then we went to Crestmont in Burleson.
Well,
So
I'm gonna run on the other side of the commercials. On the other side of those, we want to talk about this event on Saturday. Let's focus on that. And I believe you have a couple of photos or whatnot to share with us that you've given to Taylor. And so, go ahead. But well, anyway, you mentioned my sponsor. You know Otto.
Our Place restaurant, they have the best pancakes ever.
Ever.
And the best omelet. You get some bacon in it. You asked them to do it well done. You put some cheddar cheese on that thing. Whoa, it's good.
Well, you just did a better ad than I could, so there you are. He's in Dubai right now.
I know.
Yeah, isn't he something?
Who does that?
I guess he does, and he's very generous. So I have, of course, Camille, you're a friend of yours, and she works with the center. Her daughter has that book out, and he let her use his place to sell the book. To get a book signing event. Yeah, so. Okay, well, thank you, Otto. And like I said, that was a better ad than I could ever done. Okay, how about this one? See, do you know this one? Wild Cigar and Culture.
I do not know that,
Okay.
but I have smelled someone who has been in there, and they're like, I was just over there, and I was like, you smell so good.
Oh yeah, I've been over there 3 or 4 times, and it's not smoky at all. There's an aroma, of course, of cigar. But it's not like you're walking in this big cloud of smoke and hit you in the face. Nothing like that at all. And it gets yourself a decent drink. You can hear yourself think, have a conversation without shouting. They'll have the Final Four and the basketball on, but whatnot. But it's muted, so you can watch it, but not be overwhelmed by it. And he's got his grand opening on Friday, April 1st. Now, he's been open for a little while, but now they're having like this big official thing. They got a couple of major cigar companies sponsoring it and whatnot.
Nice.
So
I really do love cigars. So I remember being little, my grandfather used to smoke cigars. And whenever I would, if it was summertime, there's nothing like the smell of cigars coming off of leather seats in the summer. The smell of cigars.
He has leather seats, and it's a really nice place. And it's a good place for meetings as well. They have a meeting area, and it's over in the Standard, so there's other things going on there as well. Okay, and if you know this one, I'll be really impressed. Proactive Payment Solutions.
I don't.
Okay, fine. All right.
Oh.
So one of my former students, Antonio Basalo, what he does is point of sales operations. So, for pop-up stores or, those vendors that are mobile.
Yeah.
He's going to be making the run over at the farmer's market, which also starts this Saturday.
Yep.
That's going to be a big deal. And he's going to, a lot of people use point of sales operations and help you set up the right program, the right fees, all the above. So, and Antonio is also going to be on the show a week from Saturday. We're going to do a special show on Saturday. He's a very interesting story. His life story is worth talking about.
I may need to speak with him.
He is. I want to save it for them, but you can talk to him about point of sales. You mean? Well, he'll be the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Proactivepaymentsolution.com is where you could find him, and knowing him, he'll be able to set you up pretty quickly. He's a very fine young man.
Because we do go out to the farmer's market. Our adults do, and we're always
Well, I had
trying to figure that
Chaz
out.
Forster on about a week ago Thursday, and he's very, very generous about getting the nonprofits in. And I know a couple of other people that are going to be using his generosity, if you will. I love the farmers market.
I do too.
And because it's a great place, and it's a great thing put on behalf of the community, and the city benefits as a whole, not just because we get all those goods that we
It's
can
a
buy.
great gathering
it
space.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for the businesses around it, they can maybe make some sales. I don't know, buy some pizza or something like that.
And it's awesome to walk around, at the farmer's market and see people that you know. And just on a Saturday morning, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's going to be open this Saturday. And that'll be a lot of fun. It'd be pretty crowded, I'll bet, being the first one of the season. Also, here's another one. Another former student of mine, Payne Beagles. Beagles Technology Solutions. Say it right. Beagles Technology Solutions. He makes your home into a smart home, or your business into a smart business. He can integrate all your programs onto your phone or other devices, whatever, your iPad, whatnot. Also, he can help you transfer data without risk of being lost. And he just got into aerial videography. He has a drone so I tell the listeners, if you have an event or you're insurance adjuster or a contractor, real estate, you need some aerial photography, or if you're going to make a commercial with Taylor here, all this other stuff, you can do the aerial drone video. So he does that as well. And he's 817-944-3572 or at beaglestech.com. And I know you know this one, Local Life magazine. Yeah, she'll be getting her magazine out next week, probably by, I would say Tuesday. That's normally around the 3rd or the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And she's on the show about every 6 weeks, and she'll bring a guest on. But I tell the listeners, if you want to sponsor or advertise, maybe it's a better word, advertise, that's the magazine to do it, because it goes to 30,000 homes in this area. So it's very targeted advertising. And she does a really good job. I don't know if you've seen the latest development. She now has a much bigger fold-out kind of arrangement, not just a booklet, but like a big pamphlet that unfolds. And so the ads are bigger, and it's very nice. A lot of people have been very complimentary. So
I have not seen that, but I do know Tiffany.
Well, everybody knows Tiffany.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the ASD's program on April 2nd.
Yes.
What is it? Just start from the beginning. What is it all about?
Okay, start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it used to be 1 mile and a 5K. And this would actually, if the past couple of years never happened, this would be our 9th annual. But it is not our 9th annual anymore because the past couple of years did happen.
Right.
So what we're doing is on April 2nd at the Burleson Recreation Center, we are hosting a free family event. So we're going to have a magician, we're going to have a petting zoo, we're going to have stage performers, lots of vendors out there, and we're going to have a glow stroll as opposed to a 5K or a 1 mile, because honestly, I don't know if it was us not advertising it quick enough or whatever, or if 5Ks have just kind of run their course. No pun intended.
I get it. Oh, boy.
Taylor, that was funny. And you
I know. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, did people quit exercising over pandemic? But so what's really cool about this is we are going to have a area where you can walk through, and we're going to have hopefully 8 to 10 big. If you've ever been to Hewlin Park in Cleburne during Christmas, you kind of stroll through it and you take pictures, and there's like different scenes. I think they have the Alamo down there, and then they have like a Santa sleigh. So we're going to have different really cool scenes where you can take pictures with and just kind of take in the sights, I guess. We have been having some fun blowing up some things at the center, not like blowing up like inflatables.
Yeah.
So we inflated, I think, like an 8-foot rainbow this morning, and we were very excited about it. So this is, again, it's a free family event. We are going to have food there. Pizza is going to be there for sale. We are going to have another, oh my gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the truck that's going to be there, where they do snow cones and coffees and slush and things like that. But it's just going to be 3 hours long from 6 to 9, and we want everybody to come out and have a good time. Everybody's going to be given some type of glow stick or glow glasses, and we're going to have glow in the dark. It's just, we really want to light up the night. April 2nd is National Autism Awareness Day, and it's typically, if you've ever heard of people light it up blue, where they get the blue light bulbs and they, light up their porch blue for the month of April. I did not know that. No. So April is it's actually Autism Awareness Month. So we are kicking off Autism Awareness Month with this Light Up the Night event.
Well, how about that? Now, to be clear, it's not at Crestmont. It's at the Brick.
It is at the Burleson Recreation Center.
Okay. And
they are going to have the stage set up for us.
So they're pretty helpful about that kind of thing, aren't they?
Oh, the city's been amazing.
Well, it's interesting bringing up the city, because I had Victoria Johnson on last week, and I have the mayor on tomorrow.
I love Chris Fletcher.
Well, and when we were putting our schedule together, and I said, well, I have ASD on Monday, so how about two? And he was pretty excited that y'all were going to be on the show.
We should have come on at the same time.
Well, probably there's going to be some of the questions asked of him, but anyway, it's
the city's been amazing.
That's what but both of them were like, oh, what's one of the best things that Burleson does is the ASD. They really like it. So So you said, but Mr. Fletcher's big supporter. It sounds like
he is a wonderful supporter. We have some really good friends that are on city council. Dan McClendon.
Dan McClendon, yes.
Yes, he's one of our great supporters, and he also just listens to me.
This well, okay.
He's my yeah, he just listens to me and helps me work things out sometimes if I have too much going on in my head. But the city has been phenomenal. They've really welcomed us with open arms, and it's amazing. It's amazing to be part of a community that truly shows interest in what you do. And there's really, if they don't understand what we do, they're all making an effort to figure it out and come alongside us to see why we do is important.
What's interesting is since I've been doing this podcast, I've been doing it about 2.5 years, I've become a whole lot more aware of just how many people in Burleson are involved in activities similar to yours. You know, nonprofits, not just charities. That's not really even the right word. Ministries is probably the better word.
Yeah.
Just how many people are involved in organizations that help other people.
Burleson's a giver.
Yeah, and you know, I think that part of Burleson needs to be promoted more. Sometimes, you know, we get distracted by other things and whatnot. But as far as this community, I mean, I could do at a month's show, I could probably do 3/4 of my shows could be nonprofits and not be repeating myself.
Right.
And you know, it takes away from my Joe Biden rant time, but that's okay. That's okay. They can get that anytime. Anyway.
So one of the things that I want to say about Burleson and all the people that give, people, I think it's good for us to let everybody know about the center and what they do. I did a presentation a couple weeks ago about, you know, giving with purpose. If you could give and you knew that your giving would keep giving, would you give differently? So basically it was about, I had, you know, this whole slideshow thing, this whole slideshow put together about our participants. So we get dog food and cat food and make pet blankets. And we've written for a grant to make dog beds that we donate to the Burleson Animal Shelter. We were at the Burleson Recreation Center the other day making, putting together the eggs for their big community event, for their big Easter egg event.
Yeah, we're doing something like that in our church.
Yeah, so we go to Harvest House and we volunteer and we do drives for things that the community needs. So we really we teach our kids to give back because it's kind of ingrained in us.
I just noticed, I guess you mentioned the petting zoo. Okay. That's right. That's going to attract a lot of kids.
Yes.
Because the petting zoos are always nice.
Yeah. And we're going to have a magician walking around.
Oh, yeah? DFW Magic? Okay.
Yeah. Our DJ is pretty special to us. He is, he's on the spectrum.
Okay.
And so he'll be out there and he's super fun.
You know, and kind of go back to that spectrum because, you know, it is a wide spectrum, you know, and I know of a couple professionals that hold down higher paying jobs and they're, you know, totally functional in every way, but they're on the spectrum. Y'all don't really deal with that though.
Probably about 5 to 7% of the individuals that we serve are going to be able to hold a job.
Well, and I'm thinking of somebody who holds, you know, a professional job.
Yeah, there's definitely people out there that, you know, hold down jobs. And
Well, I have a friend whose son is autistic, and he works for, I want to say, Mr. Jim's. It was one of the pizza places. I think it's Domino's. Domino's. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Neil Jones?
Yes.
I don't know his family.
Yes.
And they were really the couple that really kind of, particularly Deanna, opened my eyes about the needs and the issues associated with autism. I mean, as a teacher, I mean, they were down the hall, you know, from where I taught, and I'd see them, but I didn't interact with them very often.
Yeah.
And if I had them in class, they were considered to be functional enough that they could be in class. And, you know, and I had kids on the spectrum that were making decent to really good grades. They just had some adjustments you had to make. They had to be sitting in a certain part of the room every time.
Yeah.
And they had to have their notes provided in a very orderly fashion. So I just print out my PowerPoint so they'd have, you know, I had another one that could ace my test, but he didn't want to use a Scantron or whatever they called it at the time. You know, that so we had to accommodate that. But he killed the test, so you know it wasn't an intellectual disability.
Yeah.
But the Joneses, for me, it was an insight to how a family has to deal with this.
Yes.
And it's sobering.
Yeah, that's probably the, you know, whenever I say my life is my work is my life, because this is forever. You always anticipate that your
Mm-hmm.
child's going to turn 18, and if they don't go to college, they're going to do something. They're going to get a job. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
go on, and
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going to have the empty nest.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to have this time with my husband and enjoy the fact that our kids are gone out of the house, and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of what you anticipate your life to look like. And then in our case, it's not ever going to look like that. We're always going to have to provide for Gabe. And that's where I mentioned earlier about the housing market,
Okay.
because I'm goal driven, obviously. And my son who goes to high school, he's a junior, so he has a year and a half. And I'm like, okay, once Nate moves, we want to sell our house and we want to try to get another house. We want to get a house in Burleson that has a couple acres that's kind of off to the back.
Right.
That gives us room for Gabe to be able to be on, maybe we can get a mother-in-law suite or something. And with the rising housing market, I'm like, are we going to be able to afford something like that? So I'm hoping that goes down.
Well,
Do you have any idea? Does it look like it's going to go back
do
to
I?
normal? Yes.
Not personally, Shandy's who you honestly you need to talk to her. I'll give you her number after we're done. She has a website and all, but I'll just give you her direct number. Y'all can visit because she does know these things. And she, every time I have her on the show, I have her on once a quarter to talk about these things. She doesn't come just to tell stories. She comes prepared with data and, and this, hardcore numbers as to what's happening in the area and with rates and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'll try to put you all together.
But that's something that as a mom of a child with autism, someone with special needs, like that's my forever. And what I want to give my child, I'm hoping it's obtainable for us, because that'll just make our lives a little bit easier.
Is there any kind of government program that would help you with that?
No.
No, okay. I didn't.
And we've been on the government wait list since he was 3. He's going to be 16.
Wait list
Yes.
for
HCS and class, different waivers that can provide respite, potential housing, help getting him to and from doctor's appointments. Like I said, we've been on that wait list since he was 3. He's going to be 16, and we have about 7 years left to go.
Holy Toledo. Is it that underfunded or just over subscribed?
Both.
Just that many.
Yeah.
That much need and just not enough money, huh?
Right.
Good heavens. With what government agency are you dealing with?
MHMR.
Okay. Is that a federal program? In other words, yeah. Okay. Does the county help?
No.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we can get. We've tried.
In other state of
whole life.
Texas, yeah.
There's nothing that we can get. So, and that's, we're a one income household. Well, I work, but
Yeah, I got you.
with purpose.
Yeah,
So,
paid with a purpose.
yeah.
It's basically gas money, which is going to be harder to find.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's kind of
Maybe that's a good question.
frustrating.
Yeah, has inflation impacted the ASD?
Oh, definitely.
How has it done so?
So our scholarship fund, it's harder to fund. So we're actually out of funds. We're actually in the negative with our scholarship fund. But we're still our families are still recovering. And like a majority of our families are one income households. And we're getting ready to start next school year or start registration for it. And one of our biggest players for our scholarship fund would donate $10,000 a year. And they have nothing this year. Nothing. And so.
Is it a business?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out, how can we get ahead of it and get the families the funding that they need, because we would love to serve them all day, every day, and not worry about the financial part of it. But we still have to keep our doors open. We still have to keep our staff paid. So that's probably the biggest concern right now is, we're still all struggling coming back financially. And so our businesses and businesses used to help our families who were struggling financially, but now businesses are struggling also. So it's kind of
Between COVID and inflation, it's been a double whammy, hasn't it?
yeah. And how is inflation going to happen like the year that there's no government stimulation packages?
Well, in my view, that's part of the cause of the inflation but that's a economics discussion and whatnot. But the impact it doesn't really matter what's causing it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, supply chain problems in producing countries.
That's a problem for us.
Yeah.
Supply, because when your child is on the spectrum and if they don't eat all kinds of foods, they typically eat like 5 or 6. Totino's Pizza recently got
I read
acquired
that.
by Pillsbury.
Yes.
And there's about to be a Totino's Pizza shortage. That's
saw
what my
that.
kid eats twice a day.
I read that yesterday about Tostino's Pizza. And the thing is, you go to the grocery store and they're there are things that they don't have on the shelves that you really don't think about till you actually are looking for them.
Yeah.
You know, no one thinks about, black beans.
Yeah.
And then you walk in there, wait, where are they? They're gone for, and all this other stuff. And,
And I can tell you, if you're mad because there's no Totinos on the shelf, it's probably me that's hoarding them because my child only eats that.
Yeah.
He eats those twice a day. So we're kind of store hopping from place to place. I have friends that are starting to stash some in their freezer for me because we don't know how long this is going to last,
What would happen if it ran out of that?
It would be difficult. It's almost more taxing on me mentally because he gets argumentative about it. And I'm emotionally drained when it comes to arguing with him. But we could do Tyson chicken nuggets, or we could do, I had him taste something else the other day and he was like, it's not so bad. After like an hour long or a half hour long argument, I'm like, just taste it. But I did mention it to him the other day because we had this conversation back during shutdown, like, Bubba, I may not be able to find your pizzas. So the other day I mentioned it to him again and he said, okay, well, if that doesn't work, maybe we get some chicken nuggets. And I'm like, great. Hopefully Tyson's running because there was a shortage in Tyson stuff several months ago.
Yes, I remember that too. It's amazing. And this inflation is reminiscent of what I went through in high school and early college. But we didn't have shortages. Everything was going up. Now we got both. And I was thinking about the inflation affecting your operating costs, but I guess I should also look at it on your client. Your clients are, having to find ways to pay for this. And are you being forced to increase your fees because of your cost of operation have gone up?
So our costs operationally and inflation impacting us that way. Our biggest expense is our staff because our staff make our programs, right? And so we are considering going up. We haven't gone up in a couple of years, but whenever I say, hey, let's just go up $5 a day, in my head, I do that math. I'm like, that's $100 a month.
Right.
So I have a hard time creating that divide from being a place that serves to we still need to pay our bills.
Right. And you have cost of materials. I'm sure you
programs, curriculum.
You probably pay your share of the utilities.
Yes.
And
our rent. We have our rent, and it's about to go up because we are about to acquire more space, which is kind of scary right now, because of everything else going up and needing to create those programs that are going to fill those spaces that are going to create the revenue that pays the increase in the rent.
I've talked to a couple of business owners now, and of course I talked on Friday to my cousin who's a farmer rancher, and he talked about how cost increases are affecting his ability and shortages are affecting his ability to operate as a cattle rancher. And it just seems like all across the board, everybody's being impacted by this. And then we don't think about the various ways that particularly nonprofits are being affected because by the name nonprofit,
right. And it's also scary to me because, I know what we pay our staff, and then you turn around and hear that Target might start paying their staff $22 an hour. I'm like,
really?
What?
22?
Like, can we not say that out loud? And so my staff doesn't leave me? Do you have,
See you later, Mr. Allard.
Yeah, well, are you kidding? The princely sum I pay you? Good heavens. I'll just go look at that Tesla some more. Anyway, but yeah, that's true. And my wife works for the school district, and they're going to have the same problem because a lot of people work for the school district as paras and other positions because they want to be near their children and all this other stuff. It's no way to get rich quick, I can assure you.
Right.
But they're going to have a hard time keeping staff
if they can't increase their pay.
Well, if you make $4 more an hour sacking groceries, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is. Especially, I don't know. It's exhausting to think about. But I used to substitute for the school system whenever in between all of everything, and they wanted to hire me as a para, and I was like, I make more as a substitute, and I don't have to be here every day.
And you had to, no, it's a tough gig.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're getting close on time, but before we run through the sponsors, I want to have Taylor address our issues we've had technically and how we're going to try to fix those for the show. Taylor, what happened to the computer right in the middle of the show?
My computer killed over.
Well,
So recording is fine. We're going to rebroadcast at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay.
And
On
podcast is
YouTube?
fine, and it'll be great.
Oh, so 1 o'clock on YouTube will be up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even notice your computer's out over there.
Yeah.
We get multiple ones. The one that runs the stream is good.
Yeah. Well,
I got the graphics.
but the podcast will be fine.
yeah, nobody will notice in the podcast unless they hear us talking about it right
Maybe
now.
it's the
So,
handy
hello,
dandy
podcast
computer.
Yeah. Well, we'll
The handy dandy camera.
well, after the show, we'll figure out a strategy for tomorrow. But anyway, I'm going to run through the sponsors real quick, and then you can tell us everything you want us to know. You get
Okay.
the last word, okay? And I'd let you do these ads. You're doing better than I do. But thank you, Daniel, over CrossFit Burleson. He's one of my original sponsors. Do you do CrossFit by any chance?
I do not. I used to, and I love it, and I would like to get back into it, but I'm worried.
About what?
I'm worried that my bones don't work the way that they used
No,
to.
well, no. They have training programs, they have trainers, they get the whole thing. So if you get back into it, you're not going to have to just wander in and wonder what to do. They'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And so,
I really enjoyed it. It was good times.
okay, well, it's on 317 Southwest Wilshire. You definitely want to make a point, guys out there. It's summertime. No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking
No,
about
I was looking to see if the address was up there. I'm like, he just said that. Like, is that up on the wall?
317 Southwest
Yes.
Wilshire. I've been doing this a little while.
You remembered that.
Yeah, this is, it's like I wake up in the middle of the night, I was doing my ads. Anyway, Shandy, I'll give you her number afterwards
Okay.
for Shandy Sogsdale to talk about the housing needs you have. And y'all could get, to me, I don't know what your timetable is, but for what you're looking for, it might take a little lead up time.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Shandy will take care of you. She's really good about that. That's why her motto is turning transactions into relationships. Also, Rex over at the Russell Wealth Group. He's an old Burleson hand. He and I graduated Baylor together. Of course, he was much smarter than me. He was studying all the time, and I wasn't. Anyway, Russell Wealth Group, myfinancialbox.com. Hit the link, get to know him, talk about your retirement plans, have some coffee with him. Also, Kimmy over at Optavia, Kimmy Etheridge, 817-789-1622. She says that the program works if you work the program. That's her motto. And they do, she's out of Grandview. They do a lot of stuff on Zoom as well, but they also get together and monitor how you're doing and things like that. So you're not just buying into a program and we'll see you later. It's there's a lot of hands-on assistance. Also, Gayla, over at Southern Gym. Hope you're doing well today. I know you got big plans, and that's a good thing. She and Kimmy and Michelle all belong to a networking group, and a lot of the ladies have taken their jewelry over there for cleaning, repair, whatnot. They swear by her. And so, anyway.
I'm kind of jealous of that group. Bianca joined it on behalf of us.
Right. Well, you can come.
I know.
Well, you were there before.
I
weren't
was.
you?
I went to the first one.
Yeah,
but it's a really good group.
Well, it's
The people are just so welcoming and supportive.
and I've been told, that not all networking groups can be like that because this is my first one and it's the only one I'm going to join.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to come anytime. Or if Bianca can't make it, you can come in as a sub.
Yeah.
And I know Wednesday she'll be there.
Yes.
Promoting the program and whatnot. I guess that's one of your big changes. You have Bianca come in.
I do have Bianca. That was one of the we've gone through lots of stuff, but one of the most important changes was having Bianca come in. She came in the 1st of November, and she came in at the best time, but also the worst time because she came in to support us and all the fundraisers that were getting ready to happen, and but yet also not knowing the center. She's had to learn everything all at once and plan as she goes.
Drinking from the fire hose, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, back to Southern Gym.
It's great. It's beautiful.
Yes. And I'll be seeing y'all hopefully Wednesday. Also, Michelle Humphrey over at Hot Works. Go there. She says that the program is hotter than average. That's her motto. And it's not just going in there and working out. They got Pilates, they got yoga, they got the whole thing with infrared. I mean, they got like various programs, a bike.
Everything from
Rolling.
beginners to your advanced.
And so they got the whole program over there. And again, a lot of the people at BNI have used her services and they think it's great.
Yeah.
It's one of the good things about that networking group because, not just because they sponsor the show, but we do use each other's services quite a bit and it's helpful. Also, everybody knows Otto at our place. Hope you're having a good time over there. I'm sure whatever you're doing in Dubai, you shut down everything just to hear the show. Thank you for that, Otto. Well, probably not. It's probably like midnight over there, but I don't know. That's I envy him be able to do that.
Dubai is so fancy.
Yes, it is. Well, and the thing is, our place is just down home, and I really like it. Also, thank you to Chris over at the Wild Cigar. April 1st, he has his grand opening. It's going to be on all day. He's sponsored by several major cigar manufacturers. They have a great humidor. Going to have drinks. It's going to be great. So go over and check out Wild Cigar over at the Standard. Also, you talked about wanting to talk to Antonio at Point. I can give you his phone number as well, Proactive Payment Solutions, or in proactivepaymentsolution.com. Say that right. But he can help you with all of that, and he's a good fellow. Also, Paying Beagles with Make Your Home a Smart Home with Beagles Technology Solutions. Check out beaglestech.com or 817-944-3572, and he can help you make your home integrated technologically, whatever the word is. Also, he can help you with aerial video and the whole thing. And lastly, we have Michelle. I did it right. Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany Griffin over at Local Life Magazine. If you want to check out the webpage, locallifetx.com, we'll give you this month's issue, and I have the ads and the deals, and the next magazine is coming out in a week. And so tell us what you want us to know, Lisa.
All right. So April 2nd is our big event. Come out and hang out with us at the Burleson Recreation Center. Take a little glow stroll and look at some pretty awesome scenery photo opportunities. The whole month of April, we're also going to have things going on. I can tell you, Pampered Chef, a friend of mine, Deanna Cartwright, is doing a special for us all through the month to do a fundraiser. We are going to be Fish City Grill's organization that they support on their first Tuesday on April 5th. And then April 29th is our gala that we have happening at the Burleson Event Center. We have a great DJ. We have MCs Mark and Carla Flowers that are going to be joining us. It is semi-formal or 80s prom attire, and 80s fashion is highly encouraged. We still need sponsors and auction items and prizes for our silent and live auction. But Gala did donate a amazing item for our auction that we're super excited about.
That's Gala.
I know.
That's
she's
what I would
got a beautiful soul.
Yes.
So we are going to dance the night away in my favorite decade, which is 80s.
Yeah. Well.
I love it.
Well, you were just a kid then, so.
I feel like I didn't. No, I did kind of grow up in the 90s, but 80s. I feel like that's where my soul is.
Okay.
It's in the 80s.
That's mine's in the 70s, but there you go. Except for the disco. I'm out on that. But anyway, so on April 29th, we're going to have another fundraiser. So we'll keep this in our rotation. And about mid-April, we can start promoting it again.
Yeah.
You know, we just throw it in there. So April 2nd, over at the Brick. And then, what was it again?
April 29th.
Well, okay, for the gala, but what was the Fish City Grill?
Oh, April 5th.
April 5th. My wife likes fish.
I love Fish City Grill. I go there for their chicken Cobb salad.
Well,
it's phenomenal.
She loves fish. I love her. Therefore, I love fish. Okay. That's how it works. All right. Anyway, so April 29th as well. That sounds like a big deal.
Yeah. It's our first gala that we're hosting since before shutdown. All of these are first since before 2020.
Well, I tell you what, also, Bianca or you or anybody else can make like a little video clip on your phone and send it to Taylor, and we can run it a couple times.
Oh.
You know, we've done that before.
Are you going to introduce us with the passion that I talk about your sponsors with?
There'll be tears in my eyes. All right. Well, okay, this will be on YouTube later after we doctor it up a little bit. You know, we'll see what we got going on. I appreciate you being here. You really are a good guest. You're very easy at this. You know, just you don't seem to have any inhibitions at all.
You should invite me to be a co-host.
You don't want to all this grief. I mean, all this big struggles I go through. But no, we're going to have you on again, no doubt about it, because I'm sure you got summer plans.
Oh, yeah, we have summer camp. Oh, my gosh, I didn't even mention that.
Well,
sure.
we'll have you on again. We'll talk about summer camp. And we'll talk to y'all very soon. See you tomorrow.